Welcome to Stepping Stones. How are all of you? I hope you are well. We've been together for 8 weeks now. That is a long time. That's almost the whole summer. And right now, a lot of you are getting ready to go back to school. I liked being in school, but I do not envy you. I do not want to go back to school bells and backpacks and exams. And that's why we're learning about Achieve and Aspire. How can we meet our regular responsibilities and aspire to make this even more meaningful? Because if it is more meaningful, we will be more successful. Your parents probably tell you, don't just work hard, work smart. Now here I'm adding one more qualification to this. Work hard, work smart, and work sattvic. Work sattvic. It is to be quieter, because when you're quieter, everything you do is more fun, and you do this faster. That's why last week we went through minute to mind management. Now a question for all of you. How much are you paying for Stepping Stones? It's free, yes? When I get invited to speak at corporations, particularly banks, on minute to mind management, they donate $2,000 an hour. That means all of you would have been bankrupt already. 8 weeks of Stepping Stones? So in minute to mind management, you're analyzing your supply of time, then all of your demand on time, and then everyone has time left over. I have found with a typical kid, they have between 5 and 15 hours a week extra that they tell their parents they don't have, but they actually do have. So parents, you can leverage your children in this regard. Now, I want to add a few more components to minute to mind management. I had asked all of you what surprised you about how you're using your time. One is, we have a whole lot of time extra, but what if you went back into your schedule and you had to actually assign how much of the time you're studying, or how much of the time you're playing soccer, or how much of the time you're doing chores is productive? Is productive. Now you can ask your parents about the same. Ask them how much of their time is productive. How much time they use on WhatsApp and worrying and so on and so forth. So this idea of working hard, smart, and sattvic to be more productive. And one way to do this is to avoid distractions. What distracts you? Chips, that's distracting. What else? TikTok, that's distracting. What else? Not sleeping well is distracting. When you're sleepy, it's so hard to listen, so hard to speak. So to avoid distractions, this is helpful towards doing your best. When you've really done your best, it becomes so much easier to leave the rest. That even if your teachers, your friends, your parents are pressuring you, you feel good. You've done your best. What else can you do? With minute to mind management, I gave you one technique on how to be more productive. Starts with a U. What did I ask you to do? Unitask. Unitask your routine. When you're brushing your teeth, when you're shampooing your hair, when you're tying your shoelaces, to unitask. Here's your second technique, and I have more to share slowly. It is to utilize planners. To utilize planners. Can you all lift up your notebooks? I'm with 25 seekers right now, and the sincere seekers, they have notebooks. The insincere have notebooks. Like I have my notebook. I'll show you. It'll be hard for you to read, but this is my Stepping Stones notebook. Can you see? It says A, which is me chanting Om. Then it says W, I think. Oh yeah, welcome. Well, welcome to Stepping Stones. And then it says H, which means How are you? I have so many things to think about, so many subjects to speak about, so I go into that level of detail in terms of utilizing planners. It helps me to have more fun and to focus more. Now, today is Thoughtful Tuesday, so I'm going to answer questions. Our first question is coming from our Seva team, and the question is, how do I know if God is real? How do I know if God is real? Sometimes I don't like our Seva team. They ask questions that are too hard. Ask me questions about saving time. How do I know if God is real? The higher way to think about this, and I'm just talking out loud because I'm trying to figure out how do I answer this question? It is to be around someone who feels God is real. You all know how fond I am of alternative rock music, particularly Pearl Jam, particularly Eddie Vedder. So now if we hang out all the time, inevitably, you're going to listen to the same, and those who are in my RV, you're going to love the same as well. Yeah, so if I'm around people who don't feel God is real, I'm going to feel God's not real either. But if I'm around people who have that faith that God is real, slowly, I will start to feel the same. Now, coming to a lower way to think about this, and I did share this early on, everything that is created has a creator. This pen is made by Bic. This is by Hydro Flask. I don't know if that's the name of the company, etc. This home has a creator. This city has a creator. Everything has a creator. What about the world? You think space created the world? Then who created space? This multiverse is creation, which means it has a creator. We call that creator God. You can't deny that. What argument would you use to deny that? One more question. This is coming from Dhruv, who's joining us from Seattle. How can I be more open about thoughts and comments? On Friday, when hanging out with my cousins, I was frequently disagreeing with them, often making my opinion the primary option. How can I be more polite and open towards others' thoughts? I like stepping stones. You were telling me your entire detail about your Friday evening. I wish you told me about your heart rate and what you ate. So I'll start with, more important than being right in a discussion or a disagreement is the relationship. This is why people say, I agree to disagree. Let's be friends. In your case, let's be cousins. Let's be agreeable to each other, even if we disagree about sports, politics, using money, buying gadgets, and stuff like that. My lower thought behind this is, there are two sides to every story. You even wrote it's a primary option. Like, there's not another option, but if there's a primary, there's a secondary also. There's primary school, then there's secondary school. So the more you accept that there are two sides to every story, there's two opinions to every matter, it helps us to be less, are you ready for it, Dhruv? Stubborn. Or closed. You can ask whatever you want. You can be as specific about, again, your heart rate, the color of your socks, and so on Padlet. I like reading your questions. I like trying to answer your questions too. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so tomorrow, everyone be ready for our story. I already know what story I'm going to tell. That's how excited I am. Shanti, 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 Be happiness.